Hey everybody, Dan here outside the Pentagon City Metro Station and Pentagon City Mall right across the street over here. And I guess that shows what we're doing today. I'm not doing a station review today, I'll do that eventually. But instead, we're going to be taking a ride on DC's only BRT. It's the closest we have to actual BRT. That is Metroway. It is a line that goes from the Pentagon City Station through Crystal City and Potomac Yard down to Braddock Road. That's along the Metro yellow and blue lines. There are other BRT projects in the work, but this one is the furthest along, and right now, the only one I would say that even remotely qualifies. Now, as far as an overview of the route goes, it's definitely a work in progress. A lot of it's in dedicated bus lanes. There's even a couple areas where it's in a dedicated transit way. There's other areas where it gets caught up in traffic, same as everything else. A good portion of the route also has dedicated bus stations that are really nice and really up to BRT standards, minus the off-board payments. I don't think that exists anywhere in the system, but in my opinion, that's not a huge deal. Other areas, like the northern point at Pentagon City, is just a regular sawtooth curbside bus station. So Pentagon City is the northern terminus, and they don't even really have anything more than little curbside areas, which is not the case in the entire route. Now, whether or not they have plans to improve this, I don't know. The entire national landing area, which is Pentagon City, Crystal City, and Potomac Yard, has been under heavy redevelopment for years. But this is just the standard bus station. It serves Metroway, but it also serves a bunch of regular local routes for Arlington and Metro Bus. Now, there are way better maps at the other stations, but this is a map of what we have going on here. It starts at Pentagon City, runs through Crystal City, down to Braddock Road. Apparently this is an older one because they don't have the Potomac Yard Metro Station on there, which is now complete. I guess the bus doesn't technically stop at Potomac Yard, but it stops very close to it. We'll see what we mean by that later. This is Metroway, a BRT or bus rapid transit system in Arlington and Alexandria, Virginia. It serves the national landing area, which includes the neighborhoods of Pentagon City, Crystal City, and Potomac Yard. Though not a part of National Landing, the route also continues a bit further south to the Braddock Road Metro Station. Service started in 2014 and is the first BRT system in Virginia and the DC metro area as a whole. This BRT project is part of major renovations in the area in partnership with the Amazon HQ2 and general IT industry projects, such as the new Virginia Tech campus being built at the Potomac Yard station. The system uses Canadian-made New Flyer Excelsior X-in40 buses. It runs a 12 to 20 minute frequency on weekdays and 20-minute frequencies on weekends, and a full journey from Pentagon City to Braddock Road takes about 24 minutes. Ridership is quite low at only about 1,340 per day and about 445,000 annually. We're starting out the journey here on just a regular road, no dedicated lanes or anything, and this is a pretty choked up area too. We are skipping all of the stops between Pentagon City and Crystal City though, which begs the question, why not just take the train at that point? I do think it is a missed opportunity not running this all the way up to the Pentagon though, because the Pentagon is a major bus station. So this is the Crystal City bus station. I won't be getting off to film because I already have plenty of footage from my Crystal City station review. Whether or not that's been published at this time, I don't know. But I'm going to cut to some footage of me exploring the bus station from that video. Now, one of the nice things in National Landings, they have a BRT. I've been on it a few times. It's better than a regular bus. It has not only dedicated bus lanes, but like a dedicated transit way, at least through Crystal City. It does not from the 4-mile run to Braddock Road. Actually, I think it has some down Richmond Highway in Potomac Yard, if I'm not mistaken. It's still largely under construction, though. But this is the bus terminal. We have the Metroway stop here. Well, at least the towards Braddock Road one. They have it separated out into two different areas. That's nice. Although I was under the impression it was supposed to be just buses on this road. I guess I was wrong. So that's the bus bay. It's right outside of the station entrance. Honestly, this is better than most of the bus loops, especially for a lot of the stations. I think this is a good way to do a good compact bus station. This is urban, like, land ain't cheap here, and they still got something good going. Or I guess to go show you don't need to do a giant bus loop. It is a significantly nicer and more functional station than the one in Pentagon City. The route runs alongside the Metro Blue and Yellow lines with stops at or near all the metro stations on its route except for National Airport. It also stops at the Crystal City BRE station. When service began, there were fewer stations, and the service started at Crystal City and didn't begin serving Pentagon City until 2016. Routes and stops have varied throughout its history due to ongoing improvements and adjustments to the system. That's pretty nice. I think this is a bus-only road. Yeah, I think this is a transit way. Yeah, that's buses on one side, bikes on, well, supposed to be buses only on one side. It does look like people are following that rule too closely.
27th Street South and Crystal City Transit Way.
So this one is also a dedicated transit way. We'll take a look at one of the other dedicated transit way stations here in a few minutes.
Protect your electronics by maintaining awareness around you and holding your device with 2 hands.
No. Right there, South Glebe.
Doors open.
So I would like to confirm the way that this two-way bus transit way comes off of the main road from this seemingly four-way, but not in the way you'd think, intersection. I have indeed seen cars get confused and go the wrong way down this road all the time. Exhibit A. Yeah, here's what the station looks like. This isn't a bad area for a station either. do want to point out it is a raised curb for level boarding. Now the bus is having to kneel. I've actually seen some of the stations like this actually have a sign specifically telling the bus driver not to kneel the bus. I don't think this one does though. Yeah, that is what the stations that are actually on a dedicated transit way look like, which there's only a few of them. I'm going to stop on one at Richmond Highway, and I'm going to stop at the kind of sort of station for Potomac Yard as well, because that one's really dumb. Accidentally got off a stop early, but that's actually not a big deal. It actually might help me show what I want to do a little bit better. I'm here in front of, I think, the new Virginia Tech building? I'm actually not sure what that is. Yeah, so this is one of the more curbside bus stations. The maps they got on there, I mean, we're not in Old Town, so I don't know why they have that map, probably because this is Alexandria. They don't even have, well, okay, I guess they do have Metroway on there. But I'll go show you guys the stupidity I'm talking about at Potomac Yard, which you can see over there. So over there across the street, we have the Potomac Yard Metro Station. You can tell it's Potomac Yard because it has ridiculously long walkways. It's the worst thing about that station, by far. You want to know where the bus station for Metroway for the Potomac Yard station is? Is it over there next to the bus bay in front of the station with all the rest of the buses? No, it's right there. This is only Metroway, by the way. Every other local bus is still over there. I don't get it. Because we'll cross the street, we'll go over to Potomac Yard, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. It's also where the Metro bus shuttle stops. So if Potomac Yard's out for some reason, people have to exit the station and come across the street. So if you're going north, then the station's right there. It's across the other side of Potomac Avenue. And these aren't like the fancy stations. I guess they're slightly more fancy than having a sign by the side of the road, but like, no screens. This one doesn't even have a map or anything. So it makes me hope that that's just temporary, but also, like, I'm pretty sure Metroway's older than the Potomac Yard station. So I don't know. I'm genuinely confused because, like, these are bus-only roads, right? Like, you're not supposed to drive here. This is a dedicated transit way. And then you see up here, we have bus bays. These are for all your local buses going to Potomac Yard. Metroway does not stop at these. Metroway stops over there. However, because of the way this is set up, there's actually kind of a second Metroway stop for Potomac Yard, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about with that. That's right, we're gonna go over Potomac Yard's really unnecessarily long pedestrian bridge. So right there where the Metro bus is, that is probably a better station for a lot of people from Potomac Yard. It's not labeled as that. Unfortunately, I'm getting here right as this one's departing, so I'm probably going to have to wait for the next one. As I put the camera away to flag it down, I realized it drove off like immediately, so I wouldn't have been able to. I also realized it's just on the wrong side of the road. So I actually didn't miss it. Speaking of, didn't even really have to wait anyways, because it was other one's right there. Run. That stop is literally just a sign by the side of the road. No shelter, no nothing. So right now we're actually turning into a transitway that goes down the median of Richmond Highway. They got stations in the median. We'll check the next one out. So this one is at Swan Avenue in Richmond. These ones don't have the screens or anything. They do have platforms, they do have benches. Like I was saying before, some of them have signs telling the drivers not to kneel the buses. Looks like this one's just Metroway. I actually am not sure. It looks like only Metroway uses this transitway because I'm seeing another bus down there. Oh, never mind. That was not in service. Either way, either Metroway is the only one that runs on this stretch of road at all, or at the very least, it's the only one that uses this transitway. Yeah, it's just in the median. We have northbound traffic, southbound traffic. It's right there. Not a bad way to do this, honestly. Just kind of wish there was the screens here. There just straight up might not be electricity at the station, honestly. No, there's totally a place for a sign, it's just not working. Is it working on the other side? No. I wonder if there's supposed to be electricity to this and there just isn't. Hold on, I am mistaken. There is another bus that uses this. The 34 to Lee Center on Alexandria system uses this as well. They don't have the schedule for it though, they only have the Metroway schedule. And we're now pulling up on the Braddock Road station. Well, that was the ride. Now, whenever it comes to thoughts, I think the best way to explain it is by saying why there's the asterisks and the crosses and everything like that in the video title. Whenever I say it's DC's only BRT, it's because it's not in DC. It's in Alexandria and Arlington. Whenever I have the asterisk next to only, it's because there's a few other in progress in the Flash Bus in Montgomery County kinda counts. And whenever I have it on BRT, it's because this isn't a perfect BRT. I'm not sure there is a perfect BRT anywhere in the US. Nothing beats like what they do in like Mexico or a lot of Europe. And I will discuss some of the details as to why it's not considered a BRT. Let's go and go through the scoring system on that. A lot of bus systems call themselves BRT when they're just not. BRT is something really specific, and very few systems in the US hit all the boxes. But many systems still call themselves BRT anyways. The problem is so bad that there's an organization that ranks different BRT systems into basic, bronze, silver, and gold tiers to show how good each system is. There are a lot of factors to score, but the main ones are dedicated right-of-way, busway alignment, off-board fare collection, intersection treatments, which I think is just signal priority, and level platform boarding. The system is created by the Institute for Transportation and Development Policy. They haven't given Metroway a score, but if they did, it would fail pretty miserably. There are some areas with dedicated rights-of-way, such as the Crystal City Transit Way and Richmond Highway, but for much of the route it runs in mixed traffic. There is no off-board fare collection. I personally don't think that's a big deal, but hey, I'm not the professional here. I noticed some transit priority, but it wasn't at every intersection, and even then it didn't seem to be particularly effective at many of the intersections that had it. Only the stations on the dedicated transit way had level boarding. It appears the reason Metroway doesn't have a score from ITDP, it's not that they haven't gotten around to it, it's because Metroway doesn't meet the basic qualifications. The best sections would actually score enough to qualify, and it would be about 25 to 30 points, and you have to have at least 20 points. So it would be considered a basic BRT. I plan on doing a whole video about the ins and outs of BRT eventually, but the fact that it would score so low brings me to my next point. Among transit enthusiasts in DC and urban planning aficionados, Metroway is notorious for being kind of really bad. The buses and stations are always deserted. It seems like no one ever uses them. I don't think a lot of people even know it exists. I've asked a few friends who are interested in transit and urban planning who live in the DMV, and many of them didn't even know Metroway exists. I think there are several contributing factors. The obvious one is the lack of quality. If the buses get stuck in traffic despite all the fancy infrastructure, then the fancy infrastructure can only do so much to improve the experience. Second is alignment. The area is already well served by Metro, so why take the bus? Next is just general reluctance to take the bus. There's a poor attitude, pun entirely intended, around taking the bus, even in a car-light city like DC. Metro is sleek, clean, and in DC at least, it's seen as an egalitarian way to transport yourself. But buses are for poor people. Now, obviously, that attitude doesn't apply to me, but that's the thought in many minds here. I think another is lack of connections. The connections to Potomac Yard is really poor, and there is no connection to Pentagon or Old Town, even though they are incredibly major stations that are pretty close to by. You're missing out on a lot of bus connections, a second VRE connection, and Amtrak that way. Metroway does have a lot of good factors going for it though. The biggest factor is Metroway has lower friction than the Metro trains. Let me explain what I mean by that. Metro stations are further apart than bus stations, and you have to go down escalators and tap in and go through even more escalators and wait for the train. It's just time and energy consuming. Where taking Metro over taking the bus takes significantly more energy and time than just getting on the bus. There's also the fact that Metro just goes more places. Unless you're going from one place national landing to another, it's not going to take you where you're trying to go. The next good factor is there is some presence of the infrastructure. I don't think Metroway is bad so much as it's just incomplete. This area has improvement planned for basically everything, Metroway included, and I think it really does have bones for a good system. It's just not there yet. In conclusion, Metroway is not BRT. It will be if/when it's ever done, but its reputation is definitely earned. It is useful, especially to get around National Landing, but it's not BRT. But do you know what's also useful and also not BRT? The subscribe button.